So hello, my name is Mondal. Now I am excited to walk you through our website. I have been working on a complete end-to-end clone of Pop OS website. So the main goal of this website was to go beyond just building a web page. It was a deep dive into the entire modern web development workflow, starting with a high-fidelity frontend and then containerizing it with Docker, and finally setting up a fully automated CI/CD pipeline with GitHub Actions. So uh, let's dive into the live demo. So this is the website. So I don't want to don't want to go in deep uh, the tech stack that I have been used to build this website. I just use the pure vanilla tech stack, the fundamental tech stack of any website, that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So uh, today the main topic is for the DevOps, right? So I want to go deep in the DevOps part. So before going into the DevOps part, I want to just overview some, thing about this website or the development part. So uh, when yeah. So as you can see, when I scroll down, some all the down components or the down uh, things are coming slowly. So it is just it is not just a simple animation. It is powered by a intersection observer API, which is modern, high performance way to handle scroll event without blogging or without walking down the blog, right? So let's dive into the code. Basically, let's dive into the coding part. So yeah, there it is. So how? So let me talk. So yeah, so how was this built, right? So let's look at the architecture. So the entire project, architecture is based on the simple static architecture with a clear separation of concern. So the HTML, file, right, provides the semantic structure. The CSS file handles all the presentation and the layout, and the JavaScript manages the intersection or interactive behaviors. So let's dive into the other files, basically. So you will see a few more important files here. The Docker file, the Docker compose.yml file. These two files are for the containerization, which I will be touch on the moment in a moment. So then you can see the .git ignore file. You can see the GitHub, then a GitHub workflow folder, which contains our CI/CD pipeline. And finally, you can see the test app file. It is a simple automated. It is a simple automated test that we run in our pipeline. Right. So let's talk about the Docker file first. So to ensure the project runs the same way everywhere, I containerized it using Docker. This Docker file is a blueprint, and it is very simple. It takes a lightweight Nginx. It takes you can see from this code that it takes a lightweight Nginx web server, copies from our website files into it, and expose copies from it into it and expose uh, but to the standard web port. That is obviously the port 80, right? So the result is self-contained package that can run the with one command, right? So next we switch into the uh, CI/CD pipeline thing. So here you can see the workflow or GitHub workflow folder in which the main.yml file contains, right? So this is where all together the CI/CD pipeline using GitHub Actions, right? So this files defines an automated workflow that triggers every single time I push a page to the main branch. So it has the two main job. The first is build and test, and then is the deployment, right? So this job, the first job is the build and test job. So this is the job, right? Build and test job. So this job checks out the code, builds the Docker image, checks out the code, builds the Docker image and the site title in the and runs it. Then it runs a simple Python to make sure the server is responding and the site title is correct. So for that we have create a test app.py file. So we will move on later into it. So yeah, this act as a quality gate. If the test fail, the process stop. So then let's talk about the deployment part, right? So this from this part we can see the deployment things. The deployment job will start, right? So automatically, so this deployment or deploy automatically take over as the first job pass successfully. So it uses official GitHub action to push the static files. Yeah, so to push the static files and to the GitHub page, right? So as you can see here, the every push to maintain the branch has triggered a successful run. This means every change is automatically tested and deployed, which is a huge step for our deployment speed and readability. So I will show the GitHub here. Go to the action here page. So you can see that every push when I every push to the main branch has triggered a successful run, right? So next I want to talk about the Nginx, right? Nginx server. So so for talking about the Nginx server, I just draw uh, architecture diagram to architecture means a workflow diagram to understand the Nginx server. So the Nginx server basically work on the reverse proxy. What is reverse proxy here? So reverse proxy, I think you might know about the forward proxy. So it is basically used in the VPN, right? VPN works. So in the VPN work, what happens? So here I mentioned the client one, right? So in this reverse proxy, it is client one. But if we use the VPN or the forward proxy, it can be client one, client two, or whatever. So the number of client will be much high as compared to this reverse proxy, right? So the number of lots of clients will send a request to the VPN, to the VPN to the VPN basically server. So then that VPN server will communicate to the main servers, right? So this how the forward proxy or the VPN server works. So here we have used in Unix the reverse proxy concept has used. So here what will happen that the here is a client one. Client one will send a request to the uh, here the interesting part is the client one will not send a request directly to the main server. First, it will send a request to the Nginx, right? So Nginx server will decide to which server the particular request will go. It can be it might be go to the server one or server two or server three. So how it decide so to which server it will go. So for that uh, we will we will put some logics, so conditions. So based on the logic and the condition up to particular server, to suppose to server one condition will meet, or if the condition will meet or the particular logic is meet, so it will goes a particular server, right? So this is the Nginx server is, and it is very powerful server, and it is a very widely used industry standard server. So it is an all, and you can you can see the concept of load balancer uh, or from this Nginx, and also third one is the HTTP cache. So HTTP, these are the three main features of the Nginx server. So the third one is the HTTP cache. So how it works? What is the HTTP cache? So suppose the client one will to send a request to the Nginx to get a particular. So a configuration file that simply this is the configuration file, right? So that simplifies the process of running our Docker container locally. It defines the server way, how to build it from the Docker, and how to map ports, making local testing very easily means right. So that's why we use this Docker compose.yml file. So right, yeah. So this makes the things easy, right? So then it will Docker containerize, as I already told that Dockerfile is a blueprint of building our applications container. So it defines the step to create a portable, consistent environment containing our website and the Nginx web server, right? So blueprint, and it will containerize all these things. Then when I push or commit and push changes in the GitHub repository, it triggers on the CI/CD pipeline, right? So as I already told that the main.yml contains all the CI/CD pipeline things, and it will be generated with the Docker image and run containers, run then for the testing purpose we use the test app.py. So a simple, a Python smoke test script. It is like a smoke test script. So it ensures the application is running correctly inside the Docker by checking if the server responds successfully and if the page title is correct, right? So